And welcome back. Our second segment also has to do with a business that very unfortunately opened its doors just days before the whole coronavirus thing hit us. And that is the Jacxkass Brewery along Route 45, just west of Lewisburg, isn't it?
That is correct, yes.
Joining us now are Skip Krotzer and Larry Winans, the two owners of the business. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So give me a real quick broad stroke view of your backgrounds. Skip, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So my background, insurance agent for 12 years of my life, school teacher for the rest of those. I'm a fourth grade elementary teacher, high school soccer coach, and an avid home brewer.
Okay, Larry?
I was a chemistry major in college, and I've been a dentist in Lewisburg for nearly 26 years. And really, when Skip approached me 7 years ago about asking if I wanted to brew beer, I just kind of jumped on that and ran with it. And we, both of us together, kind of fed off of each other, and it grew into this.
So did you know each other before the 7 year ago thing?
Yes,
started?
we did.
Okay. So he just walked up to you and casually asked you if you want to brew beer, or is this...
Well, I'm just going to say there may have been a beverage involved in that.
Yes, we were sitting at a local restaurant that no longer exists when the proposition was brought up, and it's been a great experience.
So 7 years ago you started brewing beers together, and how did it grow from there?
Well, so I had the homebrew background from brewing for many years. Mostly my homebrew tasted like homebrew. Eventually, our homebrew, we started looking at each other and saying, hey, this is actually pretty good. And it got to the point where we actually had people asking for it and wondering if they could buy it. And so, it came a long way from the early days.
Yeah, sure did.
Go ahead. So at what point in time did you decide that you wanted to open a brew pub?
Yes. Larry, would you like to answer that question?
I'm laughing because we have slightly different points of view on this. About 3 years ago, we the two of us made an excursion to Portland, Oregon, with which just freakishly happened to coincide with Portland's Craft Beer Week. And we visited breweries. We wanted to do a self-guided brewery tour. And Skip, maybe more poignantly than I did, realized what we were doing. We were actually doing research. We made notes. What did we like? What did we not like? What things went well? What things worked well? If you come into our brewery right now, both he and I can look at, we got that idea from here. We combined this idea from these pubs and breweries. So it was about 3 years ago that it really started to get serious.
And is that when you started to plan for the brew pub? About 3 years ago?
Yeah, I would say realistically, we started actually having conversations that were more about how to instead of what if. I think we started thinking very, very small. We looked at small places where we could operate for maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and somewhere along the line it turned into this beautiful building that we're sitting in today.
It is gorgeous. I mean, when did you start planning for this building? How long did it take it to build, for you guys to build it?
I think really realistically, probably 2 years ago, the whole process began. We have a very good friend and real estate partner who's involved in the real estate end of things, and he was an advisor at first, and then it kind of grew and morphed into, if we are going to do this, we are going to do this world class, first class, the right way, and not halfway. So every step along the line, painful details of what would work well, what would not work well. And we've been really benefited by having some terrific people involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you talked before we started doing the interview about how you planned out communal seating. You wanted
Yes.
this to be the anti-COVID place to go. I mean, before this all happened.
Yeah, yeah. Before we knew what COVID was, the idea behind this brewery was the things that we really liked in Portland were sitting at tables with strangers, and by the end of the night, they weren't strangers anymore. They were people you knew, and you heard stories from their lives, and
Yeah.
it was a really great experience. We created a menu that could be shared among the people sitting at the table together, rather than, oh, I'm going to get my entree and you get your entree. We wanted you to say, hey, I'll get this and you get that, and we can share.
And share it, my gosh, with your friends. And I'll never forget the brewery that was in Portland that was very poignant for me, that Skip and I sat down at a communal table because there were no other seats available. And my thought was, oh man, I don't want to sit with other people. I just want to have a quiet beer with my friend and talk about what we're doing. And we ended up staying quite a long time because this terrific couple who was from San Francisco, we met them, we engaged with them, had a great time in conversation. And we both of us thought, that's what we want to do. We want to bring people together.
So you had the menu planned out. You guys obviously had extensive experience, but was there a pathway you chose to picking the beers you were going to make initially? And I'm really curious about some of the names that you came up with these beers.
Some of them are a little bit fun.
Yes.
I think 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, when we realized we were serious about this and moving in that direction, we realized that we can't brew beers that were just for us. So we really wanted to push the envelope and expand our repertoire and try different things, try different ingredients, different styles of ingredients to make beers that will appeal to everybody. Now, certain people like certain styles more than others, but we wanted our beers to have a broad spectrum and appeal.
Okay, and the names are kooky too at times.
They are. We want people to smile, and we want to make them happy, and we want people to laugh.
So to move on from to a non-laughing matter, you guys opened at what point in time? What was the date?
Oh, something March 11th, 2020, 4 o'clock.
Okay. And by March 15th, you were already hearing what?
That was my birthday, Chris.
Sorry, Skip.
Yeah.
We were celebrating my birthday at the same time, realizing what was happening in the world and trying to make a plan for what may happen in the future.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that we had planned for a big St. Patrick's Day party. Was hoping to show Dropkick Murphys on the big screen and celebrate with all our friends and all our supporters. And come about the 15th, 16th, when we realized that was not going to happen, trying to figure out what could we do to keep this business afloat.
Yeah, that was particularly gut-wrenching because we were going to throw a party for everyone that helped us out and have it be a St. Patrick's Day party, and we couldn't do it.
Wow, that is an absolute tragedy, especially seeing that nice building. And I hate to keep bringing it up again because it is gorgeous. And
It is
people
gorgeous.
people only got to see it for what, 4 or 5 days?
5 days. There were 5 really good days.
Okay, good. So obviously my next question, what was your reaction when things started to head south? And obviously you realized the implications right away, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're very fortunate. Larry's wife is also involved with our marketing program. She was looking into the future while I was trying to stick my head in the sand and say this wasn't happening. She was very instrumental in making sure we were thinking about how we were going to pivot to a to-go menu and be ready to sell beer and food through our doors instead of inside of our doors.
So was that the immediate change you made was to pivot quickly to a takeout and delivery menu?
Yes, that was a very all of a sudden, very fast pivot as quickly as we possibly can in less than 1 day, have it all organized and done so that we could at least serve people. because we felt that there would be a demand. And frankly, at that time, we didn't know how long this was going to go on or how it was going to work, but we knew that we had to, and we had an obligation to not only our fans, our customers, our patrons, but our families to make this thing work.
So you guys are in it for the long haul.
Yes.
Okay. Any long-term changes you've made to deal with this situation?
Go ahead, Skip.
I'm not sure if I know how to answer that. We're trying and hold to our values that we started this business at. At the same time, obviously, we have to be responsible to our customers, responsible to our employees. So, of course, we've changed the way we do things in here. I hope someday that all this worry about COVID goes away and a lot of these changes are gone by the wayside. There may be a thing or two from the menu that have stuck that we like, but I think we're just trying to stay true to ourselves.
We certainly, it's been challenging, and we want to relentlessly drive Jacxkass Brewing Company forward and be as progressive as we can while being mindful of our health, our team's health, and the health of our patrons. I would say that not a day goes by when we don't have a discussion about something we need to change, something we need to alter, or a potential improvement. We have the rule, the mantra, there are no bad ideas. Bring up an idea. Anyone on our team can come to us with an idea, and it might not be the idea we use, but it might spur two other parts of conversation, and down the line, there might be something we can do to improve what we do.
So you continue to tweak the menu, continue to tweak the beers you're making?
The menu we continue to tweak, although we realize the need to have some level of consistency. So our manager, Sarah, has been instrumental, and our kitchen staff, Brian, Frank, Andrew, Stephen, have been great at really working with us to adapt to these changes on relative short notice. What's going to travel well? What won't travel well? How can we improve this? And how can we be consistent? It's been difficult to pivot to that, but every day we try something.
Have you been able to keep a large part of your employees intact? I know it's the hardest part of this for most businesses I've spoken to.
Not enough of them. I'm proud that we've kept our salaried employees here. On any given day, we have 3 or 4 additional employees that we're paying, that we're able to keep some of them afloat, and unfortunately we couldn't keep them all.
That was probably the most gut-wrenching and heartfelt, difficult thing, the cards that we were dealt at a time when we as a staff and a team came together to help us create this dream and this vision. It's ripped apart. It's been very difficult, but with a skeleton crew and the crew that we have, who are everything and amazing, we're able to still do the things that we can do and are doing.
So has everything been going pretty smoothly since, for the last 2 months?
When you say smoothly,
Chris, I think most of the things there are minor bumps here and there. We forget to put something in a bag, or we're learning the to-go business. We're not the big boys of pull in and go through the drive-through. So there's a lot of things to learn in that process, that a menu that's made to be a scratch menu, and then try and figure out, how do we train the servers? How do we train the kitchen staff? How do we train the two of us to be able to actually successfully implement that? There's bumps along the way for sure. We ask for forgiveness a lot. Our customers are wonderful. They they understand. We are trying to do our best, and I really do truly appreciate all the people that come to our window. They're great.
So what are your hours?
Well, Larry, we really just changed our hours because as the days are getting longer, we're seeing a shift in people wanting to start later and end later. So we're going Monday through Friday, 2:00 until 8:30, and then
There we go.
Saturday, Sunday, we are noon till 8:30.
Okay. So the last question we usually ask, and I realize for business people, this is a tough one to begin with because you're already dealing with trying to keep a business afloat. How are you dealing with this situation personally? Skip, Larry, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, this could be. I'll go first. I'll take this. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's thinking you have a feeling of what's about to happen, only to watch the news and realize what you are thinking to be true is changed and further down the road than you want to admit. It's caring about an incredible group of people and trying to keep them all together, trying to keep us one cohesive team. You know, I'm so proud of all the people that work here and the ones that have stepped aside and said, we'll wait, we understand, we'll be back. You know, it's gut-wrenching.
Oh yeah.
I would agree and echo with what Skip has said. We've had people on our team that said, "Hey, we know you guys are doing your best. We understand. We'll be ready when you're ready to come back." And that's just a heartfelt commitment from somebody that just joined our team. People that joined our team joined with a mission and a vision. And, you know, Skip and I shared it and they embraced it. And to have those people embrace it and then have the rug pulled out is difficult to watch and see. Fortunately, the team that we do have has been really working very, very hard in a difficult situation to make the best of it and adapt to these changes. And like Skip said, we'll make a change and then the next day we'll have to make another one and a different one. And sometimes that's difficult, but they all know that we need to be pointed in the direction of where we want to go, what we want to do and accomplish, and share that vision, even though it's changed a little bit now, to keep to our core values.
Okay. Skip Krotzer, Larry Winans from Jacxkass Brewery. Amazing attitudes, I must say. Very impressed. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having us.
And good luck as we move ahead into this uncertain future, the new normal, we like to say.
Thank you. Well, it's not normal, but the future is somewhat certain, and that Jacxkass Brewing Company will be around to serve the community for a long time.
Good to hear it. I'll have to come over when you do resume normal operations.
Of course, you can do takeout now.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that fact.
You can't come in.
Yes, I know. But when we can come in.
Yes, we would
over.
love to have you.
Okay, we'll be there. Thank you very much for joining us both.
Thank you very much, Chris.
And that's going to do it for this episode of In Your Neighborhood Special Series, Conversations on COVID-19. I'm your host, Chris O'Rourke. Thanks for joining us, and stay safe out there.